Hello, today I have a special treat. I'm sharing with you one of my premium members only videos. These are on topics like music theory, technique, song breakdowns, tips and tricks for keyboards like this one. This I think is one of my older videos, but if you want more like this, then just sign up to my Patreon or become a YouTube channel member. I publish one new premium video every week, and the cost is just $4 a month. So that's pretty reasonable, about $1 a video, I think. So let's get into it, and I'll see you again at the end. Hello and welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody. So we've had a couple of intensive sessions recently where we've covered inversions and seventh chords. I think it's time to play a bit of music and put these new techniques that we've learned into practice. Here's a song that I called Dorothy. I composed it myself. It's loosely based actually on the chords from one of the songs in the Minecraft soundtrack, so you might recognize it. That particular song is called Taswell. My version is called Dorothy. Let me play through it, then we'll explain what's going on. Okay, this song is using our major seventh chords. Remember the chord symbol for that was a triangle. That's a major seventh. Just 4 chords here. You heard it was a very slow tempo, quite a romantic sounding, dreamy kind of piece, which I really love. We have a G to the D there. Progression. This is in the key of D, actually. Let me just make a note of that. So it's in the key of D major. Sorry, the flowers are getting in the way. So we're going to start off with the 4 chord in the key of D, which is our G. I'm just going to play regular triads first. Then we're going to go down to the D. And then we're going to play an F major 7th. I'll just play the regular F first. So if we play it in the most basic form, which is always a good idea when you're learning a song, let's just move that slightly out of the way. So I'm just going to play regular triad chords first, which is a good way to approach this when you're learning a new song. So we have the, and it's 4 beats on every one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But that sounds kind of boring, doesn't it? It doesn't sound anything like as sophisticated and nice as what I was playing, but that's because I was using 7th chords and in some cases some 9th chords as well. I'm going to break that down for you right now, but let's just take a look at this progression one more time to see what's going on here. We have a G to the D. Now that's a 4 to the 1, and this is the same thing, very, very common progression actually. This is what Satai was doing. We mentioned it when we talked about the major 7ths. That sound that you know from classical music. But then what's happening next? G to the D, then we have F to the E minor 7th. Well, let me explain. It wasn't totally obvious to me first, but we figured it out eventually. We have a G to the D, and then it's actually repeated, but a whole step down with a substitution here. So what we've actually got going on here, and I love breaking down chord progressions like this to see how it works and what's going on. But we've got our G to the D, then we're going to move the whole thing down, F to the C. Again, it's a 4 to the 1, but then we're substituting. It's very common chord substitution is to replace C with a minor 3rd. I have to just take my word for that now, but that's what's going on here. So we've got where the E minor is a substitute for the C. So this is actually a chord pattern, a progression that's repeated twice, and that's why it works. But now let's add some seventh chords to this and see what it sounds like. Okay, remember our seventh chord is a major triad with a note on the top, so let's play full seventh chords just as we get the hang of this progression. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. E minor seventh chord would be that as our regular E with a minor seventh on top. One more time, you can see how much richer that sounded. Let's just do it once with standard chords. 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now with sevenths. So I hope that illustrates very clearly for you why it's so important to know these seventh chords, because that just richens up the sound so much. It makes it so much more sophisticated, interesting, and more of a dreamy quality to listen to. It's really, really worthwhile learning your sevenths. Let's do it one more time. I'll play some arpeggiated stuff this time. There's many ways you can do this. Love this chord progression. So that's a breakdown of the chords we're using. Now let's move on and tell you a little bit more, explain what I was doing with my left hand and the voicings I was using with my right hand. Here's the left hand pattern. Very simple, but a bit of a stretch. What a wonderful sound, I think you'll agree. So what is this mysterious and rather wonderful sounding arpeggio? What am I doing here? Well, this is actually just the first, the fifth. You know that by now. You've seen me doing first and the fifths in many of my songs. We're just arpeggiating it, meaning playing one note at a time. But instead of going up to the octave, I'm going one note above. This is the ninth. You can also think of it as the second note in the G major scale. We're playing a G chord here. There's a second note, but playing it up above. And this sound, funnily enough, let me mention this, is actually one you know very well. This is probably something I picked up from The Police. Every breath you take, that relies very much on the use of the ninth and then going up to the 10th or the third, you could think of it as well. First, second, third. If you ever wanted to play Every Breath You Take, that's the riff that the guitarist is playing on the guitar. So we are not going to bother playing the third. You can if you want, it will work perfectly here as well, but just to keep it simple, let's just stick to the first, the fifth, the ninth, and we're going to do that for every chord. So for D, it's just beautiful to hang on to that ninth. I love it. That's for the F, and then for the E minor, we're not actually going to outline the minor third, just the first, the fifth, and then the ninth, which is our F sharp. Okay, that's the second in a minor chord. If you want to play the minor third, it's there. And you can perhaps experiment with this yourself. You can maybe have something like this. Did something different on the E minor there just to add some variation. Okay, let's discuss some of the voicings that you can use for this track then. If I'm going to use the same left hand that we had before, and we'll just add. I'm just staggering that, so first playing the root 5th and then the 9th and my right hand at the same time. Which is quite effective. You can try that yourself or come up with something of your own. And what a wonderful voicing this is, a fabulous way to voice a major 7th chord. So if we just take the right hand by itself, we know now that that's our major 7th chord. We're going to drop the G, we don't need that, that's being played in the bass. And the bass, left hand is actually handling the 1st, the 5th, the 9th, and then with the right hand, the 3rd, the 5th, major 7th. Beautiful voicing. Relatively easy to find. I mean, just you can think of it as once you got your left hand down, just move up a whole tone. It's actually a B minor triad I'm playing there, but I don't think of it that way. Thinking of it that way with the G dropped. Exactly the same principle for the D. Same for the F. Exactly the same pattern, the same voicing. Voicing being just how you, the notes you use, you choose to play a particular chord. And then for our E minor 7, oh, another beautiful voicing for E minor 7, one to have under your belt. If we compare the F major 7, you'll see there's the two hands are almost touching each other there, which is quite a nice way to find this one, to find this major 7 voicing. There's one note in between that we're not using. When we go to the E minor 7th, take a look. There is no note in between. That's because there's a major chord, there's the minor. We've lowered the 3rd, so it's touching there. So there's our voicings. Let's play through one more time. Oh, I love that. But we can enrich in this even more by adding some 9ths. Hope you like that too, I love it. So, all we're doing now, we're taking what we did before, which was this voicing, and I'm doubling up that 9th there with my right hand. And then trying to just pick out just melody lines, which I'm going to be doing on the top. You can use the D major pentatonic scale, or in fact any of the notes from the D major scale. Oh, we're playing over the G chord, but that's actually working. Or you can just use the G major scale, maybe easier. For me, the D major pentatonic sounded better. We'll need to go into why that is on a separate lesson. But I'm basically just outlining or emphasizing some of the notes, really, just playing a broken chord. We already know this is our voicing. So D major 7th with the 9th. Just using some of these chord notes to build a melody. Some grace notes. And then to finish off the song, we're going to just play the first phrase. Remember, this is in the key of D major, so we're going to play the G seventh. And then finish off on the D. And an A over the D, and an A triad works quite nice as well. Let's do that. That's another topic for another lesson as well, how you can combine one chord with your right hand with a completely different chord in your left hand to get. It's an A over D, sounds wonderful and a nice way to finish off the song. So I hope you got some nice inspiring ideas from this video to try out yourself. Remember, practice makes perfect, so have a lot of fun practicing this technique, guys, and try and apply this left hand idea to lots of other pop songs, because you'll find it does work really well for many different songs and genres. That's all I had for today. I'll see you again next time. Happy practicing. Cheerio. Okay, if you're interested in seeing more videos like this, all the links are in the description. This was one of the older videos, but I did make about 70 new videos in the last couple of months that I'm very proud of, and I'd love you to watch them. So hopefully see you over at Patreon or as a YouTube channel member. Thanks for watching. Oh, and by the way, it's a great way to support the channel as well. You get a lot of nice videos and it keeps me going and the channel running. It's very motivating as well. So thanks in advance. Cheerio.